Hi and welcome to your practice. My name is Ina, and in this class we are focusing on and working with the refined, detailed energies of the zodiac sign Virgo. So whether you're here for Virgo season or you just want to channel a little bit of this specificity into your day and into your life, you are at the right place. So this is a strong Vinyasa class, and we will go into the nitty-gritty details of most of the postures that we get into. We will really pay attention to where our body is in space and research a little bit what are we doing in our flow, how can we get the most out of our posture. So it will be a little bit of a slower moving class, but we will be working hard. So be ready for a challenge still. We are starting in a reclined position, so when you are ready, just come down to lay on your back, and I will meet you there. And just to get ourselves started here, stretch the arms up overhead, maybe clasp the hands together, and just give your body a long stretch. Take a deep breath in, and then just allow the body to drop into the mat here. Close the eyes. Let the arms just rest up and over the head. Just notice the length of your body on the mat here. See if you can drop the weight of your body a little bit further down and into the mat. And just taking a few moments here to find the breath. Deepening and slowing down the inhales and exhales. And then just reach the hands down by your side, palms facing up. So finding a bit of a Shavasana position. Shuffle the shoulder blades together a little bit. And again, just finding the length of your body, the shape of your body, allowing it to drop down. So we're just taking some time to ground ourselves here. We're working with a lot of alignment in this class. Staying true to the Virgo attention to detail. And take one more deep breath in. Full and long breath out. Let's hug both knees into the chest. You can open the eyes if they were closed. Give yourself a little bit of a squeeze. And then just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle your hips a little bit. So you can really feel the lower back down into the floor. And keeping the lower back down into the floor, bring your knees into a tabletop position. Reach your arms up towards the sky. So the belly button is drawing down towards the spine, towards the floor, so that the lower back is touching the floor. And we are moving into some dead bugs here. The left leg is going to stretch out and the right arm reaches over the head. So we get this long diagonal line, and then draw it back up. And then go to the other side. And then back, trying to keep centered to the midline. Keep going. So the inner thighs are working a bit here to keep the knees parallel. And we are imagining that we have an invisible block in between our hands once our hands are reaching up to the sky. So just keep moving here. Feel that the core is switching on. The lower back is glued to the floor. And the breath is moving. Let's do 2 more on each side. Try to get really long between your toes and your hands. 1 more. And hug the knees into the chest. Grab a hold behind the knees. Do some rock and rolls up and down the spine till you can get enough momentum to come all the way up to sit. Cross your ankles. Find your tabletop, this time on your hands and knees. Moving through a couple cat-cows, but keep your toes tucked under. Hands right under the shoulders, spread the fingers wide, and then drop the belly down as you inhale, look up. Curving the spine to exhale, look down. As you drop the belly down, draw the heels of the hands towards the knees. Feel how that expands your chest a little bit more. And then push the hands forward onto the mat as you curve. Just a little bit, can get you a little bit deeper into the two postures here. Last one, breath in and out. Find a neutral spine here. Draw the belly button up with the toes tucked under. Give the floor a push and then hover your knees just off the floor. From here, pour the weight into your left leg. Try not to move the hips as you stretch your right leg back. Keep your hips aligned. Keep the whole body in one place. Now see if you can tap your right knee to your right elbow without moving too much. And then send it back. 2 more times. Right knee to right elbow, tap. And back. Keep the neck long. Last time, tap the elbow. Send the leg back. Toes to touch. Drop the knees. One cat-cow in the middle here. Inhale. And exhale. Back to your tabletop. Hover the knees off the floor. Left leg extends back. See if the hips can be completely parallel, shoulders completely parallel, and then bend the knee to tap your left elbow. Send it back. 2 more times. Send it back. Last one, hips are square. Send it back. Toes to touch the floor. Find your cat pose, or your cow pose, sorry. Inhale. Exhale, push away. Okay, one more thing before we move on. Tuck the toes, hover the knees. Extend your right leg back. Draw the belly button in. Move the weight into your right hand. See if you can extend your left arm forward. Keep the body square. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring everything down. Other side right away. Left leg back. Find your balance. Core is switched on. Right arm forwards. Hold. 5, 4. Long line. 3, 2, 1. Everything back. Downward facing dog. Oh, okay. Move your hands and feet to the alignment that feels good for your body, and then drop the head down. Taking a few deeper breaths here. Feel free to move around to begin till you can find some stillness. And then just setting up our down dog a little bit so that we are in alignment with the Virgo energy. Lift the heels off a little bit, bend the knees, and I want you to really send the sit bones up to the sky. There might be a sort of sensation that you're sticking your butt out a little bit, and then drop the top of the head down towards the floor. We keep pushing into the floor with our hands, so there's activity happening in the shoulders. Now, if you can keep your back straight, you can start to lower the heels, maybe stretch the knees. Take 2 more breaths here. And then from here, the right leg is going to come up to the sky. Keep the hips square. So if you look at your toes on the right leg, all 5 toes should be pointing down towards the floor. So the leg might not come so high. What we often like to do here is to open up the hip because it feels really nice and the leg can usually go a lot higher. But now drop the hip down, 5 toes pointing down towards the floor and energy out through your heel. Send the heel back and then up. We will open the hips in a moment, but let's just feel that difference here for the first few breaths. Both hip bones pointing down towards the floor.
Now point your toes of the right foot, bend the knee, so kick yourself in your glute. And now let's open up the hips, knee towards the sky, try to keep the shoulders nice and square. So now you can feel that your hip is stacked one on top of the other instead of being aligned. Take a deep breath in and then bring the leg back down to the floor. Let's go left side. Flex your left foot as you send it up. Energy out through the heel. Kick the back wall and then reach the heel up towards the floor. Have a look at your toes. Can you see? Now when I looked at my toes now, they were pointing diagonally out to the side. That means I have to roll my left inner thigh up and drop my left hip down slightly. And then keep lifting the heel up. Now point your toes. Bring the heel into your glute. Kick yourself in the bum. Now roll your hip open. Keep the shoulders exactly where they were as the knee reaches towards the sky. Long, deep breath in. And then leg back to the floor. Let's give those hands a break. Lift your heels, look forward, and just tippy-toe your way to the front of your mat. Find your halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees so that the backs of your hands can come to the floor. You might even want to slide your hands underneath your feet just for a little bit of a stretch of the wrists. You can drop the head, maybe bend the elbows back towards the shins. Hanging out here for a moment. And then release the hands. Bring the fingertips to the front of your shins and come back into your halfway lift. Finding that nice tabletop position with our spine. Some of you might have to bend your knees a lot depending on how tight your hamstrings are, because we don't want this curve happening in the back. So again, like in a downward dog, bend the knees. Think about sticking your butt out. So we're piking at the hips, releasing this lower part of our back flat, and then sending energy out through the crown of the head. There's a little bit of a sensation of cobra in the chest, shoulders are back and down, collarbones are forwards. From here, open the arms wide to the side, squeeze the shoulder blades, and then find the soles of your feet on the mat, push down into the mat as if it is a platform you're pushing away from you as you stand up. Reach the arms overhead, deep breath in, and then hands to your heart. Close the eyes here, take a deep breath in, and a long breath out. Oh, release the hands. Let's sit straight down into our chair pose. Fingertips grazes the floor, so your hips are so low that your fingertips can reach the floor. Then bring the arms up by the ears. Now close in your ribs here. Long, long spine. Imagine you have a block in between the palms of your hands. You're gently hugging that in, and then you want to lift that block up over your head so the arm bones align with your ears. And then keep that energy in the arms as you start to lean forward, belly towards the thighs, finding a straight line from your sit bones out through the fingertips. Try to lift the belly up and off your thighs, so we're not leaning fully on the thighs here. Weight is back in your heel. Maybe lift the toes off the floor, hold. For 3, lift the arms up, hug the block in. For 2, last breath. And then let's fold over the legs. Oh, finding that perfectly aligned halfway lift, inhale. Coming back into your plank position. Just for a breath. Length out through the heels, out through the crown of the head. And for our chaturanga, come forwards, shoulders past the fingertips. Maybe drop the knees down, coming all the way to the floor. Cobra, rolling the shoulders back and down. Lift the chest out through the shoulders. Push the hips back. Downward facing dog, take a breath. and out. Keep the hips square as you reach your right leg to the sky. Inhale here. Exhale, bend the heel in towards your glute, and then inhale as you reach the knee to the sky, scorpion tail. Bring the right knee to the left elbow in your high plank. Tap your elbow or your tricep. Bring it back up to a scorpion tail. Now bring it to the right elbow, tap. Keep pushing the floor away. Send it back up, scorpion tail. Bring it to your nose, tap your nose. Step it forward. Find your easy twist. Left hand down, right arm to the sky. See if you're sinking into that left shoulder, draw it back and down. And just finding that open chest, shoulder blades together, length out through your full body. Circle the right arm all the way back. Place the fingertips to the floor, maybe your blocks, as we move into a pyramid pose here. And I would like you to hop your back leg in slightly. Lift the heel of that leg up. And then when you stretch your front leg, pull the right hip back. So you might want to put your thumb into your hip crease and feel that the right hip is pulling back. So we keep our hips nice and square. Finding long spine, breathe in. And then your variation of a fold over that straight front leg. Having the heel lifted of the back leg, I find it easier to get my hips aligned because the hips have more height. So see how you go. If you want any other variation, you're of course welcome to put your heel flat or lower the heel down parallel. Take one more breath. And then bend your front knee, find your crescent lunge, arms to the sky. Again, imagining that that block is between our hands and we're hugging it in and then lifting it up straight above the head. Come low, low, low into your front knee, lifting the lower belly up into the spine as if you want to again push your lower back towards the back wall here. Just notice here how the hips are straight forwards towards the front of your mat. So if you look at your hip bones, imagine that they are headlights here and they are pointing straight forward. So we're not twisting the hips in any other direction. So we're just going to really notice the difference here and the next position we get into. So have a look. Maybe you need to pull your right hip back more to not be too open here. Super square hips, headlights forwards, shoulders forwards, gaze forwards, take a breath in. Open into your warrior two, the hips open, plant your back heel flat. Now everything is sideways except for your gaze. The eyes keep looking forwards. And here we want to focus on the openness of the position. So the right knee is rotating outwards, so if you look down, you should see your big toe on the inside of your right knee. If not, then pull your knee out. Use those abductor muscles. And then drop into your front knee more. Last breath in. Let's reverse. Inhale. And chaturanga, exhale. Just making your way through as you wish. Cobra or up dog. And downward facing dog. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully. Okay, left leg to the sky, hips are square. Flex the foot. Squeeze your glute. And then bend the knee, kick yourself in the butt. Inhale to lift the knee up to the sky, open the hips. Left knee to right elbow or tricep, tap the knee. Send it back up, breath in. Tap the left elbow. Send it back up. Tap your nose, maybe give your knee a kiss. Mwah. Step it forward, find your easy twist. Left arm to the sky, right arm stays down. Pull that right shoulder away from the ear and then grow really long out in all directions. Even feel that left foot pushing firmly into the floor here to create that really strong, steady base. And then circle the left arm back all the way, fingertips to the floor, little hop in with your back foot. Grab yourself in the hip crease of your left leg and think about pulling the hip back as you stretch that front knee. Halfway lift and exhale to fold over. We hold here. Now if you're finding it really difficult to keep the hips square, come up really high on your tippy toes of your back leg. The higher the hips are, the easier it's going to be, or the more accessible, I should say, it's going to be to keep them square. Take one more deep breath in. And then rebend your front knee, find your crescent lunge, invisible block between the palms of your hands, and without opening too much in the front body here, can you bring the arm bones up by the ears, keeping the ribs closed, keeping the belly button glued to the spine. And then check in with your headlights. Make sure they're not going right into the ditch to the side here. Right, so pull your hip back or your left hip back, right hip forward, headlights to the front. Look where you're going. Lots of things to think about in our plain crescent lunge. Oh my gosh. So just feel this square, super square position here for a second before we open. Take the last breath in. Now let's open. That feels good, at least for my body. Sinking into this open position. Look at your left knee. Can you see your left big toe? If not, turn out that left leg and then sink down. Shoulders relaxing down. Finding some ease in your breath for these next two. And then let's reverse up and over, deep breath in. Moving through your chaturanga, exhale. Shoulders down, pull the heart through as you look up. And then send the sit bones up, exhale. Lift the heels, look forward. Take a big step, or two big steps I should say. Find your nice and square, halfway lift, fingertips to shins. Sit bones back, maybe bend the knees. And then fold again. With a flat back, push the feet into the floor as if it is a platform. As you stand up, reach the hands overhead. And then hands to your heart. We are just going to flow through that, one breath per movement, trying to really notice the differences of where our body is in space, what happens when we shift positions, especially from a squared to an open position, trying to become a little bit more aware of what our body does and where the alignment has to follow. If that makes sense. I hope so. Here we go. Anyway, just breathe if that didn't make sense to you. Chair pose, inhale. Reach forward as you sit the hips back. Find this flat back position again, all the way down, hands to the floor. Step or jump back, chaturanga. Moving through your vinyasa flow. Meet me in a downward facing dog. Right leg to the sky, keep the hips square, inhale. Bend the knee, exhale, hips are still square. Open the knee, breath in. Knee to left elbow. Bring it back up. Knee to right elbow. Back up. Knee to nose. Step it through. Easy twist, inhale. Pyramid pose, pull your right hip back, pull it back and fold. Crescent lunge as you rise. Warrior two, open up the right knee, out to the side, come low, come low, come low. Reverse, breath in. Chaturanga, exhale. Meet me back in your downward dog. Left leg high, hips are square, inhale. Exhale to bend the knee, kick yourself in the butt. Open to scorpion tail, breath in. Left knee, right elbow, touch. Inhale, reach it up. Left knee, left elbow, touch. Reach it up. Left knee to your nose, give it a kiss. And then step, easy twist. Left arm up, breath in. Pyramid pose, hop your back leg in, pull your left hip back. Crescent lunge, inhale. Open the body, open wide, wide, wide. Sink low, 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 and then reverse. Chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward facing dog. Pause here, inhale. And exhale. Moving on to a little bit of another type of challenge. Rise your right leg up, hips are square, deep breath in. Straight through to your crescent lunge, tap your nose. Step, arms to the sky. Now, pull your rib cage in. Keep that invisible block between your hands. And then just as we did in our chair pose, lean forward over the front leg. All of the weight goes into your right foot. And then see if you can really gently pick up your left foot and float into your warrior three. Now this is a good place to just bring your right hand back, put it over your lower back, and see if you're lifting up your left hip. If yes, think about rolling the inner thigh, the left inner thigh up to the sky, and the left hip bone down. Length out through the foot, the head, the hands. One more breath. Standing splits, hands to the floor as you fold, lift your left leg up. Let's keep the hips square for now. It's humbling, I know, to have square hips. Feels so much better to open them up. But again, flex your left foot, have a look. If the toes are pointing out to the side, then your hips are open. That means you have to roll the hip down, lift the left inner thigh. Now, your toes are down to the floor. Use your glute, lift them up, or lift the heel up, I should say. Okay, hold. Maybe you want to hold your ankle. Whoop. And then let's point the left toes. Open the hips. Some of you might stay here, or maybe you want to look up into a cobra and grab your back foot. Find your scorpion tail leg here and then gently kick into your hands. I like to come up to my fingertips. A little bit of a tiger pose, standing split, variation. Pause. And then release back. Move through your chaturanga. Back to your downward dog. Whew. I don't know about you, but my right leg feels very open right now. So let's mimic that with the left. Let's even out the sides. Square hips, left leg to the sky. Straight through, tiger curl. Tap your nose. Step it forwards. Find your crescent lunge. And a check, if you have the same habit as me of letting the rib cage flare out, we want to think of pulling the front rib cage together and bringing the back of the rib cage to the back wall, broadening the back body. Hugging your invisible block, lean forwards all the way, create that flat, the parallel position to the ground. Weight into your left foot. See if you can really gently float off into your warrior 3. Maybe bring your left hand back. Check if your hips are square. And then when you're ready, reach down forward again. We are still holding our block between our hands. Pull them in and then lift the block up by the ears. Arm bones by the ears for 3, 2, 1. Standing splits, fingertips down. Flex your right foot to look at your toes. This is where you will probably have to lower your leg to get the right hip down, right inner thigh up. And then once you have that parallel position, start to lift the heel by engaging the glute. Maybe grab a hold of your left ankle to pull your forehead down. Just 2 more breaths here in this annoying square position. And then let's point the toes. Find this lift of the chest, open up the hip. That feels good. Bend the knee for that scorpion tail position and then grab the foot with your left hand. Push, kick into the hand as you lift the chest into this cobra sensation in your chest. So your hips are super open here. Everything is open. One more breath. And step back, right leg, left leg, chaturanga, upward dog, downward dog, and drop the knees down. Find your child's pose. You can open the knees and just let the forehead drop. Breathe for a moment. And then start to roll up the spine to sit on your knees. Okay, we are doing a headstand. I feel like it's appropriate in the energies of Virgo to do a headstand because it is all about alignment of the body, which Virgos love. So we're going to align ourselves upside down. If you don't want to do a headstand, feel free to stay here. Maybe you want to do a toe stretch, tucking your toes under on your mat. That is also delightful. Or a shoulder stand. Really, anything you feel like doing. But if you're doing a headstand, come with me. You can do a tripod. Personally, I'm going to do my forearm headstand, clasping the hands, cuddling the back of my head into the palms. Now, tuck the toes, lift the hips, walk the feet in first, trying to get the hips up over the head. If you're in your forearm headstand, make sure you're pushing the forearms into the floor to take some of that weight off the head. Then, see if you can pick up your feet and start to stretch your legs to the sky. We have some time here. So whatever variation you're doing, maybe close the eyes if you're not upside down. Finding a calm breath. Take 2 more breaths. And then coming out your own way, back down to the mat. If you are in your headstand, come into closed knee child's pose, reach the arms back. Shoulders fall forwards. Let the neck have a rest. If you don't know how to do a headstand, but you really want to learn, I have a tutorial on
headstands for beginners, accessible for absolutely everyone. So check that out if you would like to come back to this class another time and actually do the headstand if that wasn't for you today. And then start to roll up again. Sit on your heels. Stand up on your knees. We're just going to do one back bend here. Tuck the toes for a camel. If you know you can access your camel without the toes tucked, feel free to keep them pointed. Hands on the hips. Hips are forwards. Roll the shoulders back and down as you lift the chest. So think about, or imagine there's a diamond necklace around your neck, and you want to show it off to the sky. And then with that broad and open chest area, start to tuck the tailbone under slightly and push the hips forwards. From here, maybe you can reach the heels, or just keep the hands on the hips. If you can, untuck your toes, let the head drop. And coming out, sit on your heels, close the eyes, and breathe. Just noticing the body. Just noticing that shift we're heading into now between the active, quicker moving, stronger part of the practice into the slower, calmer, more meditative part of it. And just notice how your body is now welcoming that. This is such a nice moment for me in between, and I'm like, finally we're stretching, but also it was so good to move and feel my body working. But then I just feel really ready to calm it down once we get to this point. So hopefully you're with me. Okay, let's do it. Open the eyes, cross the ankles to sit back. Stretch your legs forward for Paschimottanasana. I like to grab the flesh of my glutes and just wiggle it out of the way. Find your sit bones. Of course, bending your knees, fully allowed. Again, I would rather have bent knees instead of a curved spine with straight knees. Yeah, so we want to get rid of this here where we're hinging or sort of pushing the lower back out. It puts a lot of strain in our hip flexors. So rather than that, bend the knees. Feel as if you can sit at the back of your sit bones with a long spine. Then reach the arms up and start to fold, trying to get the belly towards the thighs. And once that's not possible anymore, you can just either grab your calves, your knees, your ankles, whatever you can reach. Finding your depth here for 5 long breaths. And then coming up, your knees can stay straight or you can bend them in for your reverse table. If your knees are straight, point the toes, shoulders back and down, puff your chest up as if you are a peacock, and then lift the hips off the floor. Try to plant the feet down. Squeeze your glutes wherever you are. And then lower the hips. For a fire log position, cross the right shin in front of the left. So here what happens often is that we just cross the ankles like we're at school assembly. So we want to deepen that or change that up a little bit by pushing the feet forwards. So they're about the parallel to the top of the mat.
And then wiggle, 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 wiggle the feet about as wide as the knees. Now that's not gonna work for everyone, but just as much as you can get there in your body. And then of course, you're more than welcome to stack the ankle on top of the knee, not this sickle foot. Okay, so Virgo wants us to be specific. We are being specific. Here we go. Fingertips down, puff up the chest. You might just stay here if this is like, oh my God, more than enough. For those of you that have space, hands forward, trying to keep that nice long spine. Folding over, 5 long breaths. And then coming up, 5 breaths is so short. Maybe do more after the class because that one feels so good. Okay, other side, make sure you are not crossing the ankles. You're crossing at the middle of the shin-ish. And then if you want to stack, it is the ankle on top of the knee. Try to keep this other foot right underneath the top knee so that one is not sort of sneaking back. This is going to hit your hips in a different place if you normally cross at the ankles. Fingertips back, puff up your chest, breathe in, and then coming forwards. Okay, coming back up. Whew. It is Shavasana time, everyone. So line yourself on your mat. Let's roll down, getting in contact again with that core that we fired up at the beginning. One vertebra at a time. Feel your lower back, your mid back, then your upper back down. Again, move into stillness. So shoulder blades together, feet a bit wider, palms facing up. And then let's take a deep breath in together before we settle here. And release. So now we want to get, or not get rid of, but just ease away from, move away from that focus on detail, that specificity, the things needs to be this and that and look like this and that. So that is all good to have. We all need that discipline in our life, but it is also important to notice when it can take over, take control. We want that freedom to let that go sometimes as well and just be with our bodies, with ourselves, interact with life as it is and not trying to control it or get too caught up in the small details of things. We are such dynamic, fluid creatures, and the world is always moving, always changing, never, never, ever the same. Finding that balance between the parts where we need focus and discipline and detail, and then also being able to let that go and just live in the moment and allow life to unfold, our growth to happen as it is meant to. Taking this next minute or so to just be. you would like to stay here for longer, feel free to do that. Just sort of say your goodbyes to me laying down. If you feel ready to move and get on with your day, just introducing little movements into your fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Coming back to where we started, clasping the hands, stretching them up and over the head. Take a deep breath in. And then let everything drop just for a second. Arms are overhead, feet are flopping out. Just noticing the difference now from when we were here in the beginning of the practice. And then in your own pace, your own way, coming up to a seat. Now you are allowed to cross your legs by the ankles. I will do the same, more comfortable that way. Okay, let's close the eyes, hands by your heart. Take a breath in. Bowing the head to the fingertips, and we bow in gratitude to ourselves, to the practice, and to each other. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here, for practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed and that you have a beautiful rest of your day. And I hope to see you in my next class. Please let me know in the comments how you felt, how you experienced the class. It is really helpful for me to build my channel and know what my viewers are after, and your feedback is beyond valuable to me. So I hope to hear from you, and most of all, to have you back in my little virtual studio here. Thank you.